So what's up guys, it's your boy Lotus here today, and I'm going to do something a little different for my channel. If you've already seen my last video, then you know that I've been planning to bring gaming content to this channel, and I started off by showing you my character creation for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, since I have been given access to the closed beta, as well as many other people have as well, though not too many. I'm sure there's still some really salty people out there that either they own an Xbox One or a PC, or they just didn't manage to get their hands on a code because they ordered a physical copy, or just weren't lucky enough to win one in a giveaway. But whatever the case may be, I was fortunate enough to get into the closed beta, and I can tell you right now that it is an absolute blast. I've been having a ton of fun. I've been exploring everything that the game has to offer, though I can't say officially that I've experienced every single detail that there is in this beta. But there are some things that I've noticed and I think should be highlighted and spotlighted, and here today I'm going to be giving you my top 5 improvements made in Xenoverse 2. So I just want you to keep in mind that one, this is the closed beta, so I haven't experienced a whole lot. There's still tons more things that the game has to offer and will offer once it's officially released in just a couple of weeks now. And two, that, like I said just a moment ago, I haven't fully experienced every single detail. I've tried my best. I've been playing the game a ton, practically non-stop. But yeah, I can't say with confidence that I've done everything that the game has to offer, but I've experienced most of it. But we're just gonna get straight into the list, and coming in at number 5 is the graphics and aesthetics. This game is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it is beautiful. I think without a doubt this is the best looking Dragon Ball game ever made, and that's just my own opinion, but I'd be hard pressed to believe that anybody could disagree with me. I know a lot of people are big fans of the burst limit graphics or the Raging Blast graphics. Personally, I wasn't a fan of Raging Blast. That's just me. I think burst limit looks better, and I was a big fan of how burst limit looked. But Xenoverse 2 absolutely blows it out of the water, and one of the major reasons for that is the fact that this game runs at 60 frames a second. And I know that people on PC have always, had 60 frames a second, even on Xenoverse 1, but for console players, that's kind of a big deal, because in Xenoverse 1, we only had 30 FPS, and me personally, every game I've ever played has been running on 30 FPS. I've never owned a PC that was capable of running games at 60 frames a second, or running games at all for that matter. I've always had, rather slow PCs, but Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 runs at 60 frames a second on consoles, and that is just absolutely amazing. And that's coming from somebody who's never thought that graphics and the frame rate was a big deal when it comes to gaming, especially when it comes to a fighting game. Unless frames are dropping, I'm good. 30 FPS has always been plenty for me, but having experienced this hands-on, I can tell you that it's definitely a game changer. It's mind-blowing, and it's made me experience a serious change of heart, because now that I've experienced this at 60 FPS, I'd never want to go back to Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1. That reason being, and many other reasons as well, but I can tell you right now, I'll never be going back to Xenoverse 1. There's just no way possible. But yeah, coming from somebody that's always thought like the actual gameplay and mechanics and how the game is and how much I enjoy it is much more important than how it looks graphically, I can tell you right now that this game is stunning, and once you see it, you really will be impressed. And if you're not, I'd be amazed. I really would be amazed. Coming in at number 4 is the customization. This game expands upon the previous character customizations that we had. The system has definitely been improved. We still can do things, like change your eye color, your hair color, your outfit, your clothing, and all that. It's basically the same exact system, except that we just have, more options, more clothing, more hairstyles, things like that. I know that I'm a huge fan of character customization in any game, but especially in Dragon Ball, because I know growing up I always wanted a video game where I could make my own character. And when Xenoverse 1 came out, that was like the biggest deal to me. That was huge. That was the main selling point of the game for me personally, was the character customization. And I had a lot of fun with it. In fact, before I got into this closed beta, I was still having fun, making characters and customizing my clothing and my hairstyles and things like that. And this game just takes that system that we had in the previous game and makes it even better by just giving us even more options. And this is only the closed beta. I just want you guys to keep that in mind. This is only the closed beta, and we already have more options for the character customization, and there is a possibility that once the full game is released, we will have even more options. And I don't mean just as far as clothing that we can unlock, because of course we can't unlock everything in the game yet, but I mean when it comes to the actual creation, when you first start off, when it comes to hairstyles and different eyes and ear shapes and nose and mouths and things like that, we might have even more options. Now, I'm not saying that's a definite for sure thing that's going to happen, because for all I know that these were all the options that we will have available to us, but I'd say that there's still a good possibility that once the full game gets released, that we'll have even more options available to us when we first start off with creating our character. The third thing that I want to bring up is the parallel quest RNG. Now, if you've played Xenoverse 1, you know that one of the most annoying and painful things to do in the game was trying to get the Platinum Trophy, and that is because collecting all the super moves, all the Z Souls, and all the clothing and equipment in that game was an absolute nightmare. It was a serious pain, and it was torture. It was hell. It really was hell. I mean, I know there's still plenty and I mean plenty of, super moves and clothing and equipment that I've yet to unlock. I think to this day, even after doing parallel quests hundreds of times, I've only collected like 69% of everything that you can get in that game, and that's because the RNG in that game was absolutely atrocious. I know one mission in specific that was that was seriously bad. And sorry, I'm tripping up over my words, but one mission in particular that was seriously bad in that game was the Beerus mission, where you have to fight him and God Goku. Yeah, trying to get Beerus's clothes, his wristbands and his top and his pants and his shoes. Yeah, that mission is absolutely garbage when it comes to the RNG, and I know that to this day, and I've played that mission probably over 100 times, to this day I still don't have all of Beerus's clothing. But in this game, you have a couple dozen parallel quests to play around with, and one thing that I have noticed is that all these same parallel quests from Xenoverse 1 will probably be in Xenoverse 2, as well as additional parallel quests, because it seems most of the ones that we were able to play in this closed beta were the same ones that were in Xenoverse 1. But the more important thing to note here is that every single time I played a parallel quest, I got a ton of drops. I got a ton of items after completing the mission. Clothing, super moves, super souls. It's so much better, and I don't know if they upped the RNG specifically for this beta. I hope that's not the case, because when the full game releases, I hope that the RNG is the same as it was in this beta, because every single time I completed a mission, I got the drop, and not just one drop, but multiple drops. Multiple pieces of clothing. I'd get a super soul. I'd get super moves. I'd get items, and it was wonderful, because I know that was one of the most annoying things to me in Xenoverse 1, as well as many others, and hopefully the struggle to collect 100% of the clothing and items and moves and things of that nature won't be as bad in this game as it was in the previous game. Coming up to the number 2 improvement in Xenoverse 2, that is the online matches and the overall experience of playing online. It has been practically revamped from the bottom up. Not really, but really, because it's completely different in the sense that, how if you played in Xenoverse 1, you do a rank match, for one, you're limited to 3 minutes, and I think that's still the case in this game. I wasn't able to change the time limit when it comes to rank matches. However, you can change the time limit in player matches. So let's talk about player matches for a moment first before I jump back over to rank matches. In a player match, you can play with limits or without limits. Now, what does that mean? If you're playing with limits, that means that you're stuck at playing at 3 minutes, but this also means that your character and your opponent's character are the exact same level. You can't use any items, you're the exact same level, you practically have the same stats, you're both limited in the sense that it makes the playing field a lot more even, a lot more balanced, which is something that I know a lot of people really requested and wanted, me included, because I felt like, if you were playing against your friends online, if they weren't the same level as you, or they were a higher level or you were a higher level, whoever was the higher level just had a huge advantage. Like if you were level 99 and the person you're playing against is like level 87, even if they're more skilled than you, you just have a bigger advantage because you have better stats. Well, in this game, there was an option both in player match and rank match to play with limits, and that basically levels the playing ground and puts you both on the same terms, the same level, same time limit, all like that. You can also play without limits, and when you play without limits, you got a few more options in terms of setting up the matches. So let's say if I'm playing a player match without limits, that means you can use items. That means whichever level your character is what level whichever character you choose will be, as well as the same goes for your opponent. You can also change the time limit. You can change it from like 60 seconds, I believe, to 120 seconds, to 180 seconds, which is like 3 minutes, and I know it goes up to like 600 seconds, which is 5 minutes, and then I believe it goes even all the way to 900 seconds, which is 600 minutes is not 5 seconds. 600 minutes is 10 minutes, and 900 seconds is 15 minutes. So the maximum time limit that you can put on a player match is 15 minutes, which is a huge step up from the first game, because I know a lot of people complain about the very, very short time limit, which is 3 minutes. I know I personally experienced a lot of matches that ended simply because the time ran out, and 3 minutes just is not long enough in a fighting game, especially a fighting game like this. And so it's great to see that we now have the option to play a game where we have 5 times the amount of time to actually duke it out. So that's great. Unfortunately, in a rank match, you're still stuck at 3 minutes regardless of whatever. I guess they just feel like 3 minutes is just quick and easy to get it over with. I guess they feel that's appropriate for a rank match, but it's no big deal. But getting more into rank matches, you now have the option to play, with limits or without limits, and you can play either where people can use items or people can't use items, which is a really big deal, because I know it was really, really annoying to fight people in a rank match and then they start drifting and running away, which, by the way, you can't do in this game anymore. They would drift and run away, pop a capsule, restore all the health at the end of the match, and they would win. Most annoying thing ever, I don't know who thought that was a great idea to allow items in a ranked match in the first place, but it's great to know that now there is an option to play without the use of items, and I'm sure that is what 99% of people will be using, if not 100% of people. I know me personally, if I decide to go hard on ranked matches and maybe see the boys C-Reacts or Rhymestyle or somebody in the ranked match, I know that I'll always be playing without the use of items. And coming in at the number one biggest improvement, the most important thing, the thing that I think most of us are excited for, or at least I know I am as well as many others, biggest improvement made in Xenoverse 2 is the hit detection. I'm sure you'll hear other YouTubers stress it over and over again, and they cannot stress it enough. I cannot stress it enough. The hit detection in this game has been improved by leaps and bounds. It is damn near flawless. Only time that I've ever experienced like a problem with the hit detection is when there's a bug or glitch showed up, and that's simply because, you know, this is the beta and there's still, you know, some kinks that need to be worked out. But the hit detection is amazing in this game, and I'm sure I have gameplay running in the background of this video that you guys can check out. As a matter of fact, I want you guys to watch this clip right here. Right now, I'm about to insert a clip of a match that I had. I'm using Goku with his shirt ripped off, and I'm fighting GT Goku. And I guess I just want you to see this combo that I pulled off against my opponent. Now, there is no way in hell you could ever pull off something that nasty against somebody in Xenoverse 1. The hit detection would never allow a series and string of combos and an ultimate attack and then continuing the combo. You could never pull off anything that vicious in Xenoverse 1. Not only because it was harder because of the hit detection, but two, you know, the gameplay just wasn't as fast, and the gameplay feels a lot snappier, a lot tighter. Xenoverse 1 felt very loose and floaty at times, and one thing that I definitely think is worth mentioning is that the gameplay in Xenoverse 2 just feels a lot tighter, a lot more refined, and just a lot more fun in general. And the hit detection is a major reason for that, because combos connect damn near flawlessly. Everything hits when and where it's supposed to, and it's just a very beautiful thing. And it's made the game so much more fun than Xenoverse 1 ever was for me. And I know that's one thing a lot of people were really excited for, and I know I was really excited for that. And experiencing it is just it's a great thing. It's really beautiful. It's something I absolutely love. And like I said, it cannot be stressed enough how great the hit detection in this game is, especially in comparison to Xenoverse 1. But yeah, that wraps up this list, guys. That's pretty much everything that I had to say. Those are my 5 improvements made in Xenoverse 2. I'm sure there's still plenty of other things. I could make a whole other, you know, top 5 list if I wanted to, or just 5 more things in general. But let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of this video, what you guys thought of my top 5. You have your own top 5 if you've been able to experience it better for yourselves. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, so you guys can stay tuned for all the awesome content I plan on bringing you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much all I have for today, so I will catch you guys next time. Later.